Jai Hind, friends. My name is Maneesh Kalwaniya. I'm an IPS officer of 2015 batch. Collecting and connecting the dots. That was the topic that was given to me. So what I'm going to do is share some of my experiences, some of the lessons that I have learned in my life. I'd like to start with a story. Uh, so we were there in Hostel 4 of IIT Bombay. It is the same hostel that was shown in the movie Chichore. Although we were not Chichore at all. So on a routine day, it was around 8 p.m. I was walking towards my wing. Our wing was like a series of 16 rooms and a corridor in front of it. So lights were out, and when I entered my wing, I saw my wingmates. They were running from one end to the other end, and there was some chaos, and everybody was shouting. There was a boy named Psycho. He was not a psycho, his nickname was Psycho. So everybody was shouting, Psycho ko maro. Apparently it was Psycho's birthday, and everybody wanted to give birthday bumps to Psycho. And they were running from this side to that side, and Psycho Kumaro, it was chaos. We also entered, we also tried to give birthday bumps. As it happened, when lights were up again, we saw Psycho was also there. He was also running and Psycho Kumaro. And it was some other boy, Guge, he was named Guge. He was getting the bumps. So as it happens, especially in our initial college days, that happens with me, and I saw a lot of my friends and young students. We are not very focused on what to do. We are generally, like in this case, not beating around the bush, we are beating the wrong bush. When I entered my college, I thought I am into IIT and the war is won and now nothing is left to do. I was very happy. But soon I realized that entering was difficult, but surviving the college is even more difficult. There were so many extracurricular activities. Being from a very humble background, I was not very good at any of these. Everybody around me, when I looked around, everybody was so talented into fine arts, dramatics, music, sports, you name it, apart from studies. So I felt very challenged, and it was a tough competition for me. And why these things are required is because there is a huge pressure of getting placed in a good company after the college. So we all try to perform good in all these things. But sadly, I could not do good in these things, and it was around my third year or fourth year. I was very low. I felt very low that, I am not able to do good. I failed in 2, 3 subjects. I was the actual 5 point someone back then. One of my professors, he was very nice. He was my guide, and he counseled me a lot. Then I came up with an idea in my fourth year that I need to be confident once again, like I was before when I entered the college. So I designed a strategy whereby I I challenged myself with certain tasks. I made a checklist, and I wanted to tick mark all of these things. These were the small challenges thrown at me to make me uncomfortable by design and win the comfort. We often hear we should face our fears. So that was my strategy to face my fears. The things that I thought I cannot do, I exactly wanted to do all those things. So these things and these challenges were like small things like running a marathon, able to earn some money. So I went ahead and taught some students outside the college in off hours, entering into some dramatic society. People from their first year onwards, they were into those societies, they were doing good. I myself being a fourth year student, it was very awkward for me to go there and go on the stage, make a fool out of myself, because I was not very good at all these things, but it was by design. I wanted to be there, be comfortable, despite being the odds. So I did all those things. I also auditioned for a fashion show in the college. All these things were by checklist. I was tick marking all of them. One of them was to, there is a general championship among the hostels. All hostels are like big, 500, 700 students are there, and the championship and the inter-hostel competition is a big thing, very big thing. So I took upon it myself that we'll win this general championship this time also. In the last 5 years, our hostel was winning, and it is a rolling trophy, which is kept in the winning hostel. So it is a matter of pride. So this was also one of the challenges. I worked very hard, and luckily we won that trophy. And as a token of respect, as you can see, it was kept in my room for the next 1 year. By these incremental changes, I could build back the confidence. I realized that this is the virtuous and vicious cycles in our lives. When we, when we get up in the morning and we do some good thing as the first thing in the morning, like a 5-minute exercise routine, or simply making our bed. If we do this, our entire day is good and productive. If we are lazy in the first 1 hour, 1.5 hours, the entire day is gone like that. This is how our brain works. So I think this has worked for me. These small challenges that I threw at myself in college, they helped me get better with the virtuous cycle. So I think it can help all the students, especially the young students. Later on, moving ahead, I was able to get placed in a very good company. It was an MNC, and I felt very good that finally that phase was over. I was confident again, and I was able to get placed in a good company. But the real satisfaction came when around 3 months back, there was a news article when I was awarded the Gallantry Medal from the President of India, and there was a news article about it. I received a phone call after 15 years from the same professor who used to think that I'll barely pass out of the college. I was so happy to receive his call, and it was the biggest compliment one can ever think of. Later on, I came here in Maharashtra cadre. Here I'd like to again share a story from my childhood. I'd like you to imagine two boys, 10-year-old boys. They are walking from their village to their farm, where their extended family members are working. They are taking the lunch boxes with them to the farm for the people working there. This was me and my cousin. And during these walks, it was very hot summer months of Rajasthan. A scorching sun was there. It was extremely difficult to walk there. But I learned the crux of hard work there. That lesson has stayed with me forever. With each step, I was feeling I should sit somewhere in the shade, or I should not even start from the house. But I had created an image that when I reach there, at the destination, I'll be able to sit in the cool shade with my family members, share food with them. This simple image was there always in the mind that kept us walking. It kept us moving. And this has always worked for me after that also. In all walks of life, this works. When I started preparing for UPSC, I was comfortably placed in an MNC, and I was happy with my job. But when I used to walk to my office, come back, I used to see a lot of things like vehicles wrongly parked in no parking area, shops encroaching on the road or government land. We used to read a lot about the ills of the society in the newspaper, and I used to complain about it. One day it struck to me during discussions with my friends that you don't have the right to complain about it until unless you are doing something about it. So that's when I decided that maybe I should also try to be part of the government and try to do something about these things instead of complaining. So I went ahead and started preparing for UPSC. It was extremely tough, the toughest thing I have felt ever, because it is a mental challenge for a long duration. I failed in the first 2 attempts. And it was very difficult to keep myself motivated, because all my friends, they were enjoying their life, they were in good jobs, they were buying new cars, they are getting married, some were going for world tours and all. So it was very difficult period. But during that phase also, that same lesson, I had printed an image in my mind about the academy, the training academy, about myself in uniform. Whenever I felt distracted, I used to think about this. And you automatically, if you fix your goal and you don't forget it, you automatically come back on the track if you are distracted. Sometimes I used to feel that I should have gone for some startup or some higher studies, and this is not good. This is the way our mind distracts us. It is very natural and common with everybody. So, at that point of time, I used to think that first I'll clear this exam, and if you want to go for some startup, you can go later on after leaving the job. I can remember a dialogue, एक बार commitment कर दी तो किसी की नहीं सुनता. I think that is right in a way. It looks funny in the movie, but it is there. If you start something, if you challenge yourself with some task, then you have to finish it. And that is and doing that, you can always remember the final goal. That image will help you. I think that is the crux of working hard. I was posted in Gadchiroli. It's a Naxal affected area. It's a heavily forested area, 80% forest. Highly rugged, hilly terrain is there, fast flowing streams are there, and wild animals are there. And very lowly populated area. It's a very remote area. Working there was very difficult. There also, I used to think like this. I used to have images of Naxal-free areas, happy people, smiling children, who should be able to feel safe. So whenever I felt difficulties, I used to have that image in my mind. There was one incident where, during one of the incident in the jungle, one of our, I'd like to mention here that there is a lot of walk involved in these areas. Police has to go for what you call jungle treks, but they are not fun treks. You have a heavy load on your back, and there is always a danger of falling from heights, getting bitten by snakes during the night, or simply some bullet injuries and all these things. So there was an incident, and one of our men was injured, and we had to carry him. Obviously, we could not carry him, but we had to motivate him to walk. So I told him that you just walk till out of this area, 4 kilometers away, you will be provided air support. We were able to motivate him. He walked till that place, and after reaching there, when he asked, I told him that, sorry, I lied to you. There is no air support. I lied because I wanted to put an image inside his mind, the image of him getting evacuated and going to a safe place. That motivated him to walk, otherwise he was not able to walk. So that's how this thing works. Later on, we shared his load and he was able to walk because it was a plain area. That's how I think keeping your goals always in your mind will help you. Another thing I want to share, another important lesson in my life is the importance of relationships. It can change tremendously our performances, our work routines, everything, our personal lives. In routine policing, we have seen that whenever a victim comes to the police station, if we talk nicely to her, if she is able to see some of her family member in you, half of her pain is reduced. Half of the problem is solved. Now the 50% of the problem is to get the accused and punish him. But the first thing is building a trust and a relationship with the victim. And he or she is very satisfied at the initial moment itself that I am in safe hands and somebody is taking care of my problem. When there is some mad crowd, mob, you want to control it. It will not get controlled if you confront it. If you build a relationship, immediate relationship with them, you speak in the language in which they are trying to project their point. You understand their point of view. You speak according to that. And then you try to convince them. They are immediately cooled down. And they are able to listen what you are saying. This thing has worked a lot during my Gadchiroli stint. Over the years, Many officers and teams have worked to build a relationship with the community there. And we have succeeded a lot in this. Police has been able to win the trust of the people there. We ran a campaign there whereby all the government documents like Aadhaar card, driving license, caste certificates, and all kinds of basic documentation was done at the police station, because otherwise it's a remote area. People are not able to go to the government offices and complete their documentation. So we went to their doorstep. We completed everything for them because of the good reach of police there. There are so many government schemes about which they were unaware. We found those schemes, gave them the benefits. We touched almost 1 lakh people in 2 years, in one way or the other way, by helping them in these kind of matters. Around 5,000 students were given vocational training and they were placed in big cities outside. Young boys from Gadchiroli, boys and girls. Otherwise, there was no scope for them because of lack of education, because of lack of opportunities. No big companies will go there to employ. We gave self-employment trainings to around another 6,000 people there. They are doing very good. They are self-employed now, giving employment to other people also. You can see in the picture how the police is going to the villages, to the people, and helping them out in the things. People were not able to get health facilities. We got them in the headquarters, operated on them, and provided all kind of medical facilities to them. This kind of trust with the community has helped tremendously. That has weaned them away from the Naxals towards the government. That has helped us operationally also and otherwise also. We were able to reduce the Naxal problem to a great extent. I was myself awarded with the Gallantry Medal by the President of India twice. I'm lucky to have been there and see the experience, how the relationship building can help. So to sum up, my life lessons, the first one being give small incremental challenges to yourself. Try to do something good in the first 1 hour of the day. Start the virtuous cycle. Second one being never forget to work hard, and while working hard, always have the image of your goal. Be stubborn. Be obsessed. And the third one, personally also for me, it has worked wonders. The relationship with my family initially, my wife, kids, and in the college days, there was a support group from my friends. And I think building lifelong relationships is the most important thing one can do in life. That's all. Thank you. Jai Hind.